Good morning, everybody. Yesterday we started with border management. Okay, before starting, did you get your notes? Please let me know because I've already provided them with all the notes and told them to provide you with all the notes, including the topic I'm going to take today. So hopefully, I think you might have got it. Just let me know. Now, let's start with the border management. So under border management, again, I have to provide you with the outline. So we have finished background, Department of Border Management. Today we'll start with individual border management. Now, regarding individual border management, as I have told you, we'll be focusing on four main aspects. What is unique about that border? What are the major problem along that border? Steps taken by the government. Third, and fourth, which is the border guarding force along that border. So let's start with India-Bangladesh border. What is unique about India-Bangladesh border? Now, if we talk about uniqueness of India-Bangladesh border, first, it is the longest border that make it unique. Second, it is a man-made border drawn by Bengal Boundary Commission. And that's why it passes through agricultural land, farmland, field, canal, river, forest, etc. And that's why this border is very porous. So this also add to its uniqueness that this is the longest border, man-made border, porous border. Now, what are the major problems along this border? Now, when we talk about the major problem, uh, you should be clear in mind that most of the border face most of the problem which are common. So we are eliminating the common problem and we'll try to focus on the major problem here. Now the first major problem on this border is illegal immigration. Now when I said illegal, because as I told you in the diaspora class itself that India is not signatory to Refugee Convention. So we treat them as illegal migrant. So and why that is happening? Basically because due to push factor in Bangladesh and pull factor in India. Now this illegal migration uh, didn't start after Bangladesh came into being. It was happening when it was East Pakistan as well. But when it became Bangladesh, so it still continued, right? And what are the push factor there? The push factor is political instability, religious persecution, poverty, unemployment, lack of education facility, and so not no better opportunity, etc. And what are the pull factor in India? The pull factor in India, political stability, no religious persecution, uh, employment opportunity, better health condition, etc. So these attracts the people to come to India. And since the border is very porous, so it's very easy for them to cross into India. And this problem of illegal migration has led to a very complex kind of problem, especially in Northeast and that too in Assam. Because these illegal migrants, they put immense pressure on the available local resources and they also uh, offer their service at a lower wage, so the locals are devoid of employment opportunity. So the local feel aggrieved due to this problem. And moreover, these people have what you can say due to illegal migration, the demography of certain constituency has undergone a change, and the locals who are residing there, they have become minority. So these things led to flare of up of situation at the local level, and the local took up arms against these migrants, and that created a kind of internal security problem for India. But as of now, uh, people have let down their arms. Government is also taking certain steps, and the situation is peaceful, especially in Assam. Now, second major problem along this border is of cattle smuggling. Now, you will be surprised to know why cattle smuggling. Because see, uh, in India there are huge number of cattle, and on an average in India, if the cattle fetches around 3 to 5,000 rupees, so on an average in Bangladesh it will fetch around 10,000 plus rupees. So cattle from as far as Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, etc. are taken to West Bengal for the purpose of grazing, and from there they are smuggled into Bangladesh. Now, recently you might have come across a news, and that Mr. Mandal, I don't remember his complete name, from West Bengal, he he is still in CBI custody because he is considered to be kingpin of cattle smuggling. And so the state government, the central government, the BSF, etc., are taking steps so as to stop this smuggling of cattle along this border. But as of now, it is the second major problem along this border. Now, if we talk about the third major problem along this border, then probably since the border is porous, so it's very easy to commit crime, etc., in India and cross the international boundary and sneak into Bangladesh and take safe refuge there. So, since the present government is a friendly government, so probably this thing is not happening on a larger scale. But before that, it was a common phenomena. So these are the major problem along this border. Now, regarding the steps taken by the government, the government has sanctioned the complete fencing and floodlighting of the entire stretch along this border. And regarding fencing, let's talk about fencing first. We could not fence the entire stretch along Indo-Bangladesh border due to certain inherent problem like low-lying areas, adverse climatic condition. Population from both sides of the border reside so close to each other that even 150 square yards of space that is needed for fencing is not available at some point. Pending litigation in the court of law, so till the court verdict comes out, we cannot fence. And local protest. Due to these, we have not been able to fence the entire stretch along Indo-Bangladesh border. So in the meantime, what we are doing? We have resorted to Comprehensive Integrated Border Management System, CIBMS. Now, what is Comprehensive Integrated Border Management System? It is a mix of human and technology. Now, where human intervention is needed only in the last moment. Now, we are using technology, mostly technology here in form of cameras, sensor, radar, uh, etc. And we put up at such point where we cannot do the fencing. And with the help of these, it is so advanced that it can detect whether it is a friendly intrusion or enemy intrusion and what action needs to be taken. So it also tells the security forces about that. and the human intervention, whatever they want, whatever action they want to take, they uh, press the switch and the action is taken. So this is known as comprehensive integrated border management system. Now this system has been installed on a as a pilot project on a 61-kilometer stretch in Dhubri, Assam. Now, second one is this flood lighting. Now, as far as flood lighting is concerned, the government of India started a pilot project in West Bengal in order to know how effective they may be and what is the feasibility. So, after getting a positive report from the pilot project, the government gave a go ahead to to floodlight the entire stretch along Indo-Bangladesh border. So West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, etc., the states which are bordering West Bengal, now they have been floodlighted. Now the Border Road Organization has constructed nearly 4,500 square kilometers of border patrol roads so that it becomes easier for uh, patrolling the border. So it's become easier now to patrol the border. Okay, so these are the steps taken by the government of India on Indo-Bangladesh border. Now regarding border guarding force, it is the BSF, Border Security Force, which is guarding in India-Bangladesh border. Now regarding India-Pakistan, again, what is unique about this border? Now, unique thing about this border is that think of any landscape and you will find it on India-Pakistan border. Be it hot desert, be it cold desert, swampy land, marshy land, plateau, mountain, river, forest, anything you think of, you will find it on India-Pakistan border. So that, in that sense, this also makes this border unique. Now, secondly, the proximity to the Golden Crescent, Afghanistan, Pakistan area. So, and Iran. So, probably you can say this Golden Crescent is the largest drug producing center in the world. And definitely it will have bearing on India's security. So it, in a sense, it also add uniqueness to India-Pakistan border. Now, third unique thing about this border is that we share three kinds of border, three types of border with Pakistan. First is international boundary, second is LOC, third is AGPL. So this also add uniqueness to this Pakistan border because we share three kinds of boundary with Pakistan. Now this international boundary, it is around 2,308 kilometers long stretch. LOC is around 776 kilometer long and AGPL is 110 kilometer long stretch. Now, what is international boundary? Now, international boundary are basically those boundary which is recognized by international community. Now, it starts from Gujarat and goes up to Jammu districts in Jammu and Kashmir, and there the international boundary ends. Now, from there, Jammu districts in Jammu and Kashmir, going through Baramulla, Rajouri, Poonch, Kupwara, it goes up to some portion of Leh, and that is known as LOC. LOC is line of control. Now, before LOC previously was known as Karachi Ceasefire Agreement Line. Now, after similar agreement, it was renamed as LOC, Line of Control. Now, this boundary is recognized only by India and Pakistan and by no other countries around the world. Now, from some portion of Leh where this LOC ends, so that is NJ 942. So that portion of Leh where this LOC ends, it is known as NJ 9842. It is a point, and from there up to Indra Call, which is roughly around 110 kilometers stretch, which is also known as Siachen, actual ground position line goes. So, if we talk about India-Pakistan boundary, so international boundary starts from Gujarat and goes up to Jammu district in Jammu and Kashmir. From Jammu district in Jammu and Kashmir, and it's Sangam, the district name is Sangam. From Sangam, covering Rajouri, Baramulla, Kupwara, Poonch, it goes up to NJ 9842 in Leh, and which is known as LOC. And from 9J842, it another 110 kilometer stretch which goes up to Indra Call is known as actual ground position line, AGPL. Now, these are the unique things with respect to Pakistan border. Now, so what are the unique things we have discussed with respect to Pakistan? All kinds of landscape. See, India recognized LOC till the time we settle our dispute regarding POK. Till that point only, we will be recognizing this line. It's not that we have given them to the Pakistan. No. No, Biswajit. So, I hope it's clear. Now, so every kind of landscape is present along Indo-Pakistan boundary, proximity to Golden Crescent, and three kinds of border we share with Pakistan. Now, major problem along this border. Now, if we talk about the major problem, so in the present context, the major problem will be drug smuggling, narco terrorism. So these are the major problem. Now, drugs, if we talk about drug smuggling, now they are using drones to supply drugs in Punjab, and whole of the Punjab is in grip of drugs. Now, it's very easy for them to supply drugs through drone. When Government of India came to know about it, it increased the jurisdiction of BSF and up to 50 kilometers, and necessary action are now being taken to curb this phenomena. Then they uh, invented another method of supplying drugs through underground tunnels, and that too has been curbed of late through use of comprehensive integrated border management system, because the sensor is now capable of noticing any movement underground up to 20 meters or so. So government is taking necessary and effective action with respect to these, but still these are the major problems. Now, uh, instead of infiltration, it is fomenting secessionist tendency. Now, how it is fomenting secessionist tendency? Because through supply of drugs, they use the money of the people, and through that money, they send arms and ammunition, and then their sinister design is to provoke these drug addicts to fight against the state. So, this is a kind of narco terrorism they are promoting. So, terrorism which is promoted through drug money. Now, so these are the major problems. Now, steps taken by the government. If we talk about the steps taken by the government sanctioned to fence and floodlight the entire stretch, and accordingly, the entire stretch along Indo-Pakistan border has been fenced now and completely floodlighted. Uh, Now, India has put up a smart wall or laser wall. Again, it is a very sophisticated system, uh, which was which is being used by Israel on Palestinian border, and it is pretty much effective. So it is a kind of laser wall, and any intrusion can easily be detected and pinpointed, and necessary action would be taken immediately to immobilize the intruder. Now, uh, so these are the steps taken by the government. Then, border guarding force. The border guarding force along this border is BSF and Indian Army. So that is the border guarding force along this border. Now, India, China. Again, what is unique about this border? Now, if we talk about uniqueness of India-China border, there are lots of unique things along this border. First, we have two buffer states, Nepal and Bhutan, along this border, and that makes it unique. Second is the whole border is disputed. In that sense, this border is unique because China doesn't recognize McMahon line. Suvam, I will be taking your question later. Let me uh, finish individual border management, and then I will take this question and explain it to you. Okay, so India, China. So first unique thing is the whole border is disputed, two buffer states. Now we have LAC, line of actual control, and fourth unique thing you may say is lofty Himalayan mountains prevents interaction between the people from both the country. Now there is hardly any interaction through land route between India and China. Even most of the trade is carried through sea route, not through land route, due to harsh climatic condition, lofty Himalayan mountains. So these are the unique feature along Indo-China border. Now what is LAC? LAC is line of actual control. Now what exactly this is all about? See, suppose how to explain it? Like suppose, let me try. This is, let's say, McMahon line. So China doesn't recognize this McMahon line, right? This is India and this is China. So India recognizes this as border. China doesn't recognize this as their border. According to their perception, they think that up to this point, that this should be their border, right? For the sake of understanding, I'm telling you, China thinks that up to this point, their border should be there, not at this point. So whenever Chinese troop cross this McMahon line, we say that they have intruded into our territory, because based on our perception, this is our line. But based on their perception, they think that they are in their own territory, because they have their right up to going up to this point, right? Now similarly, when Indian troop cross this and cross this point and comes here, then the China starts complaining that Indian troops have intruded into our space. So due to this, there were lots of tension, etc. And in 1962, there was a war in which we lost. So in 1993, a mechanism was formulated for peaceful coexistence, that, okay, till the time the dispute is resolved, troops from both sides, troops from China will go up to this point and troops for India will go up to this point without any arms, etc., to patrol it, and no permanent structure will be put up in this place. Right. So that was the agreement. India abided by this agreement, but China, they are cliquish, so they tried to create permanent structure in Galwan Valley. So India retaliated, but they were unarmed and they were armed. So skirmishes took place, fight took place between them, and we lost nearly 20 of our soldiers, and they lost double or triple soldier than us. But they only few months back they publicly acknowledged about it, that they lost only 4 soldiers. But that is China. Anyway, so these are the unique things along Indo-China border. Now, if we talk about the major problem, on external front, we may be having lots of problem with China, but with respect to internal security, previously their hand was found in Naga insurgency or Northeast, etc. But of late, we didn't have any conclusive proof to take name of China that they are doing this. So we can say with respect to internal security, no major problem along Indo-China border, and steps taken by the government. So the government of India, because we lost only war to China, so taking lesson from that, why we lost that war? So it was found that we hardly had any infrastructure to move heavy equipment up to a desired location so that we can give befitting reply to the Chinese, because we cannot move tank, artillery, guns, etc. on horses and ponies back. So realizing this mistake, the government gave a go ahead to construct 73 roads of operational significance. Out of these 73 roads, 46 roads are to be constructed by Ministry of Defense, and 27 roads is to be constructed by Ministry of Home Affairs, and this will be measuring around 804 kilometers. Now, internal security comes under the domain of MHA, so we'll be concerned about this only. So 27 roads measuring 800 kilometers, 804 kilometers have already been constructed, and these roads pass through jungles, wildlife sanctuary, etc. So in order to construct road, necessary permission was to be obtained from Supreme Court, Ministry of Environment, and National Board of Wildlife. So all the necessary permission, etc., we have obtained, and the road has already been constructed. So this is steps taken by the government, and the border guarding force along this border is ITBF, Indo-Tibetan, ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Okay. Now, India-Nepal. Unique thing about India-Nepal border. First unique thing is buffer state. Second unique thing is open boundary, because according to Treaty of Peace and Friendship, we have open border with Nepal, and because Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed in 1950, and it dates back to Sunoli Agreement. Now, where both the countries agreed that they will keep their border open for the citizen of both the countries, and because of that, we are keeping our border open. So that is this second unique aspect. And the third unique aspect along this border is the notorious Himalayan river. The notorious Himalayan river Kala Pani and Susta. Now, why these rivers are notorious and how this add uniqueness to India-Nepal border. Now, just try to understand. Now, suppose this is India and this is Nepal and this is Kala Pani. So, when boundary between India and Nepal was demarcated, Kala Pani was flowing in this direction and border pillars etc. were erected here to demarcate that this is the border between India and Nepal. Now these are the notorious Himalayan rivers. After few years, the Kalapani changed its course and started flowing like this. So the people from Nepal, they thought that since river is their boundary, so they started following the river and they encroached into the Indian territory, right? So they encroached up to this point in Indian territory. Now after few years down the line, the mood of Kala Pani changed and it started flowing in this direction. Now it was the turn of Indian people to pay back. So they also, following the course of river, moved into the Nepal's territory, and like this many disputed pockets have been created along both sides of the border at different places. So long as treaty of peace and friendship is in place, everything seems to be fine, but once it is not there, then probably this thing will have, I don't know how it will turn out to be, how it will turn out. So this also add uniqueness along this border. Now what are the major problem along this border? Now the major problem along this border is, since it's an open border, so infiltration and exfiltration will be there. So infiltration and exfiltration of whom? Anti-national elements, terrorists, insurgent, Naxals, criminals, etc. So they are using this border for infiltrating and exfiltrating purpose. So that is one. Second, is human trafficking. Now it's become very easy to move into Nepal, and from Nepal you can go anywhere in the world. So second is human trafficking. Third is drug smuggling, etc. So these are the major problem along Indo-Nepal border. Now steps taken by the government. Now since it's an open border and these kind of activities are being reported So we have three levels of talk mechanism in place to sort out issues of mutual concern. Like suppose if the concern is of highest order and highest official need to sit to sort it out, then there is a mechanism for home secretary of both the countries to sit together and sort out issues of mutual concern. Similarly, if like suppose no such grave problem, but still middle level intervention is required again to sort out issues of mutual concern, then in order to sort out those issues, joint secretary level talks mechanism is also in place. And for solving minor dispute, there is a mechanism for district level coordination committee, and the official from both the countries participate in that district level coordination committee of the rank of district magistrate from both the countries and sort out issues of mutual concern. Now, the government of India gave a go ahead to construct around 1300 kilometers of strategic roads, and it will pass through Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar along Indo-Nepal border. And this road is to be utilized by SSB, Sashastra Seema Bal, which happens to be a border guarding force along this border. So this is India-Nepal border. Now India-Bhutan. What is unique about this border? Now, can you imagine any other border to be more peaceful than this border? I don't think. So in that sense, this peaceful aspect makes this border unique. Second is buffer state. Third is open border. Now here you must keep in mind that since it's a most peaceful border, so it's not that we don't have any major problem here. The major problem here is of smuggling. Now smuggling of what? From Bhutan what we smuggle into India, and from India what we smuggle into Bhutan. So from from Bhutan, world famous Bhutanese cannabis is comes into India. Second, famous Bhutanese liquor is also smuggled, and Chinese made consumer goods item also is smuggled into India from Bhutan, because its border from China side is also open. Now from India, what is smuggled into Bhutan? From India, livestock, grocery items and fruits are smuggled into Bhutan, because Bhutan is known for making world famous fruit jam, and that's why fruits are in great demand, and that's why fruit is being smuggled from India into Bhutan. So now regarding steps taken by the government, Now, since it is the most peaceful border, so we have only one level mechanism to sort out issues of mutual concern, and that is a joint secretary level mechanism talk exists between both India and Bhutan to sort out issues of mutual concern. Now, India and Myanmar. Now, India Myanmar, you can say it's the most happening border. Now, why it's the most happening border? Because first and foremost, you have to understand the topography of this particular area. Now, this is hill. It is a hilly area, and it has a very difficult terrain. Now, it is very hard to fence and floodlight the entire stretch. So, we have not been able to fence or floodlight it due to hilly areas and very difficult terrain and thick vegetation. So, we have not been able to do that. So, you can say it's remain a open border. Now, the boundary line between India and Myanmar was demarcated in 1967. Now, when the border was demarcated in 1967, now three prominent tribes, Naga, Kuki and Chin tribe, they were living in this area. So, like suppose this is India and this is Myanmar. So, they were living when this border was demarcated. So, what happened was when the border was demarcated, they found that half of their family lives in India and half of their family lives in Myanmar. So, it was a unique situation. Now, fearing instability in the region, both India and Myanmar agreed on FMR, free movement regime. Now, what is free movement regime? Both the government observed that maximum up to 16 kilometers on both sides of the border, the family of these tribals lives. So, they introduced this FMR, free movement regime, under which up to 16 kilometers on both sides they allowed the movement of these people to cross the international border without passport and visa up to 16 kilometers on both sides to meet their families. Recently, some changes has been done here. Now, these tribes has to take pass which will be valid for 1 year, and in single visit they will stay for not more than 2 weeks. If the stay is prolonged, then they have to come again at the international border and take a fresh, what you can say, pass to stay for another 2 weeks. So that is the mechanism which has been put in place now, because the insurgent groups who were present in northeast also, they were taking advantage of this, committing crime in India and then crossing the international boundary. Now, due to this, when they attacked an army convoy in which many army jawans were killed, so India decided to teach them lesson, and then because they have already crossed in Myanmar, so India carried first surgical strike in Myanmar, eliminating whole of this what you can say Khaplang group. So this is first unique thing along this border, free movement regime. Second is a kind of open border because we cannot fence and floodlight it. But after this Manipur incident, government has given a go ahead to fence the entire stretch along Indo-Myanmar border and to floodlight it also. It will take some time, but it is a good move in right direction. Second unique thing is uh, proximity to Golden Triangle. Now, proximity to Golden Triangle again, if you see uh, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, a triangle which is very close to us. So this will have direct bearing, and due to this, Manipur is in the grip of drugs, and here the raw drugs first comes into the country in form of ATS, that is amphetamine type stimulant. ATS, that is amphetamine type stimulant. So this is raw drug which is procured or which is provided by international drug syndicate near Myanmar border to organized criminal gang. Now the organized criminal gang, by utilizing the area of influence of the terrorist, by using them as courier and paying them, they bring this raw drug to Manipur. And in Manipur, this raw drug is processed and made into party drugs, and it is sold under the brand name ecstasy. And then again, it is brought back to the Myanmar border and handed over to the international drug syndicate, who then uh, transport these drugs to various parts of world. But this has a bearing on Manipur because the youths of Manipur are in grip of drugs, and the drugs money is being used to purchase arms and ammunition, and due to that the present problem is persisting for a longer time because the what you can say the war which is being financed through drug money lasts a little longer. So that is the reason also you may have to keep in mind. So proximity to Golden Triangle, free movement regime, open border, gateway to Southeast Asia, that is another unique thing, and India's Act East policy. So all these things add uniqueness to this particular border. Now, the government has also initiated lots of program for this particular reason. Now, say Bharat Mala Pariyojana, RCS Uran scheme, Kaladan multi-model project, etc. along this border to bring about a change or development in this region so that people get employment opportunity. They think that they are part and parcel in nation building activity. They lay down their arms and join the mainstream. That is the basic purpose behind this. Okay, so these are the unique things along India-Myanmar border. Now, what are the major problem along this border? Now, if we talk about the major problem, so the major problem first and foremost will be drug smuggling. Second is human trafficking. Third is arms and ammunition smuggling. Now, human trafficking, because mostly, as you may be knowing, that 70% of human trafficking is done for flesh trade. And due to proximity to Thailand, etc., where it is in great demand, so human trafficking is there also in great demand. So that's why it is taking place through this border. Arms and ammunition, because through this border it is a, you can say, a kind of open border, and number of insurgent groups operate in this area. They have their area of influence. So the consignment safely reaches to any part of India through them. So that is also there. So these are the major problems along Indo-Myanmar border. Now, steps taken by the government. If we talk about the steps taken by the government, then the government had, as I told you, in the wake of this Manipur violence, the government has ultimately decided, I hope it's not too late, to fence and floodlight the entire stretch. But previously, the government started with fencing a 10-kilometer stretch, relatively flat stretch in Manipur, that is in Morhe, and so this is relatively 10 kilometers of flat stretch. Now, land for fencing purpose, because through this flat surface, most of the trade, legal and illegal trade, take place. So the government decided to plug in the loopholes here. But what happened? Try to understand. The government acquired the land, paid the compensation, state government, and the central government paid compensation to the state government, and acquired this land and awarded the contract to BRO to construct fencing. Now, BRO started the work, and when it completed around 4.1 kilometers of fencing, it had to be stopped because of litigation in court of law. Now that litigation has been overruled and the construction work has started again. So, and it is going on. We may be able to finish it by the end. And in the meantime, the government has announced to fence the complete border. So these are the steps taken by the government. Now, the border guarding force along this border is Assam Rifle. Now, this is the force which is guarding this border. So, individual border management is completed. Now, we will talk about border area development program. Now, what is border area development program? Now, before taking this topic, I will take some questions. And one thing more, recently I came across composite border outpost. Now, border outpost and composite border outpost are two different things. Now, normally the border outpost is set up basically for domination by the security forces to dominate that particular area, to thwart any illegal migration, smuggling of drugs, human trafficking, etc. And it has all the logistic supports, arms, ammunition, medical supplies, food supplies, etc. So that is border outpost. Now this composite border outpost concept came when Ladakh standoff between India and China started. Now there the temperature goes up to minus 40, 45 degree Celsius. It's a very harsh climatic condition. And in that climatic condition, we have to be there to guard our border. So, with the help of IT, etc., the government came up uh, uh, the idea of composite border outpost. Now, it will have such a kind of a structure that it will maintain a uniform temperature of 26 degrees, especially in the resting area where soldier etc. will sleep, where in the dining area where they will eat, in bathroom etc. And there will be a 24 hours water supply also. So that is composite border outpost. So just keep this in mind. Now, composite border outpost, comprehensive integrated border management system, smart wall, these are the terminology, important terminology for border management, both from PT perspective as well as from the mains perspective. Okay, so what is BADP? So let me take up some question first and then Sir, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said on Kargil Divas, India is ready to enter LOC. What does it mean? It means, does this statement indicates about a war or a meeting or something else? See, but Indian Parliament has passed a resolution that POK is an integral part of India. So, in that context, Rajnath Singh ji said made this statement, and secondly, you can also realize that since we have built a Kartarpur corridor, a similar kind of corridor government is completing to build, because there is a famous temple located in POK, which is revered by Hindu population who are living in Kashmir and elsewhere. And so a resolution has been passed in POK assembly regarding this as well. So and why only Mr. Rajnath Singh? Even our army has said that we are waiting for the orders from the above, and whenever we get the orders, we will take the necessary action. So just wait and see how the situation unfolds. In spite of laser boundary, how infiltrators come in Jammu and Kashmir? See, they used to come, but when this smart wall was put up, they discovered a new way of infiltrating, that is tunnel. Now that thing has also been taken care of. so they will might come up with some new ideas. So we'll do accordingly. They are not directly infiltrating into Kashmir now. They are using as a they are infiltrating into Jammu through tunnel, and now we have been the BSF has been able to locate it, and we have plugged in the loopholes. See, LOC basically because of see dispute, we had no other option because uh, um, our political master went to UN, and that's why uh, for the time being, in order to keep peace, they thought it prudent enough to uh, make that as a boundary, Karachi ceasefire agreement line, and through similar agreement, we also reversed that. No need to going to UN. We'll sort out on our own. Until the time we sort out our own, this Karachi ceasefire agreement line will be known as LOC. Now, LAC, regarding LAC, as I told you through diagram, etc., it is based on perception. They think that up to that point, uh, their boundary should be there, whereas India feels no, McMahon line is our boundary. So, till the time both the sides sit together and come out with some solution, they agreed that we'll keep this as LAC, and when we will sort out this issue, then probably we will make it international boundary. Mr. Kumar Roy, see, Western nation decision to arm Myanmar anti-Janta group, it will have implication on India, little bit implication of India, more implication on Myanmar, because the tribes which have their linkages in India, probably they will try to provide help through arms and ammunition uh, to foment internal security problem. Apart from that, I don't see any other thing here. So recently in a news article, it has been said that the Manipur chaos is actually a battle between poppy and palm. So please discuss it for better understanding. See, I told you several times. Yeah, it's correct. Because see what was happening. Uh, I hopefully you remember the diagram I drew on the board, where I told you that the majority of the population is living on minimum land, and since they have not been accorded tribal status, so they cannot purchase land on hills. Whereas the people, minimum people who are living on the hills, which constitute maximum land area, now they can purchase land in the plain area. Now, the people who are living on the hill normally they indulge in what you can say this drug business. And since Myanmar border is an open border, so there is easy availability of drugs, arms, ammunition, etc. And through this money, they are purchasing through drug money. They are purchasing arms and ammunition and arming the people. And so that's why in the recent confrontation, this thing has an army is unable to intervene directly because both of us are citizens of India. The government is focusing on the illegal migrants and deporting them back, and that's why the government has also taken decision to fence and floodlight the entire stretch to reduce infiltration to bare minimum. See, it's the BSF and Indian Army which guards India-Pakistan border. In Jammu and Kashmir, we can see terrorism, terrorist activities along India-Pakistan border. Is it the major problem than drug smuggling there? Uh, See, Spandan, the thing is, if you go by the government data, it has drastically reduced the terrorist activities, etc. But the the drug money, because see, in Jammu and Kashmir, the situation is entirely different. Money is needed, so NIA is working on that source on money laundering, hawala. You might have come across the news and seen in newspaper, TV, etc. that every after every few days there is raid carried out by NA to when they have some digital trace of the money coming into the valley. Now this drug supply, etc., provides money, and due to that, it has become a major problem not on along Jammu and Kashmir but also in Punjab. So that's why it's not that only Jammu and Kashmir is along Indo-Pakistan border; it's Punjab also. So that's why I said major problem, because that terrorist act has gone down and this has gone up. So this becomes the major problem now. If someone was caught and was in custody on a cattle smuggling in border area, then how political leaders can convey to the people that they were arrested because of political conspiracy? This is like making people fool. People can make movement to release them, though they are main culprit. Right, violence can also happen. See, Spandan, it's not you and me to comment on this for whether it is a political conspiracy or it's a genuine case. It is for the court to decide, and when and as the agency will submit papers to the court, they will be in a position to know that if that person is innocent, he will come out clean, and if he is not innocent, he will get punishment. As simple as that. Thank you. So now I won't be taking any question till the end. So let's start with border area development program. Now, what is border area development program? Now, hopefully you remember Madhav Godbole committee's report, where he recommended that border area development should be taken so as to wean away border population from indulging in any anti-national activities, right? So here you have to keep in mind, because see, empty mind, devil's workshop. If border population remain idle, they don't have employment opportunity, etc., then how come they will have a feeling of belongingness to a nation? So they will start playing in enemy's hand and will be detrimental to country's security. So that's why they should be weaned away and put into some activities. So that is the basic purpose of border area development program, and it is to be undertaken by Department of Border Management, which is functioning under Ministry of Home Affairs. See, apart from this, the other aim of border area development program is to see the population which is residing at different borders in different parts of the country have different needs, and if their needs are not fulfilled, then they will not remain loyal to the country. Now, it is the duty of the government to fulfill their special developmental needs. For example, the people who are living on Rajasthan border and the people who are living on Ladakh border, they might have entirely different needs, spatial developmental needs. So it is the government's duty to provide them. Second, as I told you, participatory approach. Now, if their participation is taken, then it will instill a sense of belongingness, that they are also contributing in some form or the other in nation building activity, and this is their nation. Now they have to defend it and guard it against the enemy. So that kind of feeling will be inculcated in them. So that's why the central, the state, the local, and participatory approach uh, is the second aim of border area development program. And the third aim is to instill a sense of belongingness, and also that they are in the safe hand. So if that kind of feeling is there, so they will be bold enough uh, to guard their country against the foreign enemies. So these are the aims of border area development program. Now, regarding the extent of border area development program, now firstly it started along Indo-Pakistan border, but if we talk about the present extent, it is covering around 460 border block in 117 border districts of 16 states and 2 UTs. So that is the present extent of border area development program. It is covering 460 border blocks in 117 border districts of 16 states and 2 UTs. Now, what is the guideline for border area development program? Now, if you want to know about the guidelines, then the guidelines for the BADP is now suppose this is international boundary between India and Pakistan. Now, what the guideline says about border area development program, we'll try to understand that. The guideline says from zero line, that is the first house or village that is located on international boundary, from that point up to 10 kilometers throughout the border. Now here, crow fly is taken into consideration. It is a technical term which means aerial distance. Now aerial distance is basically taken into consideration to maintain uniformity. So from zero line, from the first house or village that is located on the international border up to 10 kilometers, which may have urban, semi-urban, rural, village, every kind of area. So there they have to saturate it with necessary infrastructure. Now, what is that? Try to understand. The government has made a list of necessary infrastructure that has to be provided, and every village from 0 to 10 kilometers will have these infrastructures. For example, bunkers, for example, telephone lines, electricity, safe drinking water, primary school, health center, sports facilities, community center, then Anganwadi center. So all these kind of infrastructure, the government has prepared a list, and they will saturate every village, whether it is semi-urban, urban, rural, village, house, etc., which will lie within 0 to 10 kilometers with all these necessary infrastructure. When there will be a complete saturation, then next set of village from 10 to 20 kilometers will be taken up for developmental work, and this will go on till 50 kilometers, and after completing 50 kilometers of developmental work, then only state governments are permitted to undertake any ad hoc project for development purpose. So that is the guideline provided by the central government to the state government with respect to border area development program. Now let's talk about the funding patterns, how the funding for border area development program is being done. Now if we talk about the funding, see, BIDP comes under centrally core sponsored scheme. Centrally core sponsored scheme. Now, as per centrally core sponsored scheme, how funding is being done? Let's try to understand. Now, the 16 states, so there are 8 northeastern states, including Sikkim, 2 Himalayan states, Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, and 6 states like West Bengal, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab. West Bengal, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab. So this is the breakup of 16 states. Now, regarding the funding patterns for 8 northeastern states and 2 Himalayan states, the center share is 90 and the state share is 10%. So for 8 northeastern states and 2 Himalayan states, the center share is 90% and the state gives 10%. Now for the 6 states bordering international borders, the center share is 60% and the state share is 40%, right? For these 6 states. Now for two UTs, first is UT of Jammu and Kashmir. This is with legislature. And UT of Ladakh. This is without legislature. Now for UT of Jammu and Kashmir, the center gives 90% and the UT provides 10%. Now for UT of Ladakh, 100% center. So this is the funding pattern, right? So we have done aim, extent, guideline, funding pattern. Now how monitoring is being done? Now if we talk about monitoring, see how this humongous project is being monitored. So let's try to understand. Now, you people are tech savvy. So, like suppose, take for example KSG. Now, you visit the site of KSG, you will find different locations for KSG because KSG is located in different states. Now, if you want to know information about a particular state, what is the fees, what is the duration, etc., you can visit that website and get the complete information of that. Now, same kind of system is here because this project is not being undertaken in any one state. It is being undertaken in 16 states and 2 UTs. So the government has come up with MIS system, which is known as Management Information System. It is a software which is posted on the website of the ministry, and this helps the officials to monitor this project very effectively. Now, suppose if the officials want to know what is the position of the work in Rajasthan or what is the position of work in West Bengal, then just by visiting the West Bengal chapter, they will come to know who have been awarded the contract, what is the total amount of money that has been allocated, till date how much money have been spent, and how much project has been completed. So through click of a mouse, they can easily get the entire information. The second important thing that this does is that what you can say, it leads to speedier communication between the center and the state. Now, previously, what used to happen? Now, previously, you have to enter the letter number, date, etc. in register, send it by speed post, then they will send you back and you will receive. So it took around 5, 6, 7 days. But now that time period has been reduced to few minutes, right? So that is the advantage of this management information system. Okay, I'm still getting questions. So do ITBP and BSF have aerial units to check out the movement of drones? And yeah, they do have. BSF have. It's the Arjun Squad. I talked about it yesterday, which comprises of eagle and dog. And the eagles, they are trained in Muradabad, and they could easily take down the drones, because see, shooting down drones meant incurring huge cost, because on an average Western countries uh, investing around $1,500 or so on shooting down a drone that is being operated on Pakistan border. So India has devised a very noble method where we just invest around $8 and we are able to take down the drones. So avoiding the present road connectivity, Bhutan, China and India, and the other road which are being built in our place which connects to this main road. Does these road come under Ministry of Defense or Ministry of Home Affairs? It comes under Ministry of Defense. Because it is for the movement of the army. Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. Integrated check post. See, have you heard about David Coleman Hadley? Now, why I'm asking this? Because this particular person, you can say, who carried out Reiki in Mumbai 26/11 incident, and so he helped the terrorist to carry out that attack. Now you will be surprised to know that David Coleman Headley was on international, what you can say, wanted list, uh, which is circulated by Interpol to every countries. Now, since he was on the watch list of Interpol, and India is also a member to it, so how it happened that he sneaked into India without getting, without being noticed? Now, again, you will be surprised to know that it was not for the first time that he sneaked into India. He sneaked into India more than 7 times without being noticed. So, this definitely pointed out to the security agencies that there is a big loopholes in our security apparatus. So, after lots of deliberation among themselves and after some lengthy discussions on this particular matter, they came up with a solution. And that solution was in form of integrated check post, wherein they conceived of a complex which will house all the agencies which in any way are involved in providing security to our country, and they will be functioning under one roof. Now, just imagine if you have visited the airport, international airport, you have cargo terminal, you have passenger terminal, immigration facility, now passport verification, etc. So same kind of complex was conceived where all the agencies who are involved will be present, whether it is IB, raw, military intelligence, anybody, custom, immigration, and this modern complex will have all the, what you can say, necessary infrastructure like warehousing, quarantine facility, waiting area, cargo terminal, passenger terminal, banking facility, health facility, hospital. So all kind of mm, structures will be there in a single compound, and that will be known as integrated check post. Now, how it is going to help? So it will lead to proper profiling of goods and people who are coming in and going out of the country. So there will be a proper profiling of everyone who is coming or going out. Uh, for the sake of understanding, I'm just telling you so that it will be more clear to you. Like suppose you present your passport at a first point of interaction. So everybody who is sitting in that complex, they will have immediate access to this, and they will immediately come to know whether this person is on wanted list, watch out list, etc. And accordingly, without that person knowing it, if he is innocent, he will be given clearances immediately. So that kind of system is in place. So when the security agency submitted this proposal to the government, before the government initially was slight reluctant because um, no, what you can say, feasibility study, etc., was done. But since it was concerned with matter of national security, the government gave a go ahead and initially sanctioned 13 checkposts to be built along Indo-Pakistan, Indo-Bangladesh, Indo-Myanmar, and Indo-Nepal border. Right. Now, what is the present position? The present position is around 9 integrated checkposts are fully operational now. Now, I'm going to tell you which all integrated checkposts are operational and it is situated on which border. Now, first integrated checkpost that opened was Atari, Attari. It is situated in Punjab on Indo-Pakistan border, and it became operational. It became operational in 2012. Now, second integrated checkpost is Agartala, which is in Tripura. Now, it is located on Indo-Bangladesh border, and it became operational in 2013. It became operational in 2013. Now, third is Petrapol. Petrapol is in West Bengal. Again on in India-Bangladesh border. And it became operational. It became operational in 2016. Now, next one is Raksaul. It is located in Bihar. On India-Nepal border. India-Nepal border. And became operational in 2016. Became operational in 2016. Next is Jogbani. J-O-G, Jog, Bani, B-A-N-I. It is in Bihar on India-Nepal border. Became operational in 2016. Now, Morhe. Sixth one is Morhe, M-O-R-E-H, Manipur, on India-Myanmar border. On India-Myanmar border. Became operational in 2019. Became operational in 2019. Now, seventh is Srimantpur. Srimantpur, S-R-I-M-A-N-T-P-U-R. Tripura, on Indo-Bangladesh border. became operational in December 2020, Srimantpur. Eighth one is Baba Nanak, Dera Baba Nanak, located in state of Punjab, located in state of Punjab on India-Pakistan border. Operational in 2019. Last one is Sutarkandi, Sutar, 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 Kandi. It is in Assam on Indo-Bangladesh border. Became operational in 2019. So this is integrated check post. Now the last topic which we have to do is port security. See, what is port security? Port security, basically there are two types of port, major and minor. Now, as per Port Act 1908, it is the duty of the central government to provide security cover to the major ports, and it is the duty of a state government to provide security to the minor ports. But in order to provide security to the minor ports, the state has to set up Marine Advisory Committee or a similar body or a state maritime board like that, and based on their recommendation, security cover has to be provided. So as regard to major ports of India, there are around 12 major ports in India, and the central government is providing security cover to the major ports of India, and the security is being provided by CISF, Central Industrial Security Forces. Now, the yearly audit, security audit, the yearly security audit is being done by this IB, Intelligence Bureau, so as to see if there is any loopholes in security apparatus or not. Now, as regard to minor ports, the state government has, some of the state government recently has set up State Maritime Board or Maritime Advisory Committee, and they are still in the process of submitting their report. So when they will submit their report, then based on their recommendation, the state government will provide security cover. Now till that time, till this thing happens, in 2016, a compendium of guideline was issued by Intelligence Bureau, and that guideline contained how uh, security cover to the minor ports are to be provided. And from 2016 onwards, the instruction given in companion of guideline, through that the security cover is being provided to the minor ports of India. So that is the status. So this finishes your topic. So I will take up questions now. How many centrally core sponsored scheme? Regarding number, I'm a bit confused. So centrally sponsored. How many are centrally sponsored for border area development? This is under BIDP, as I told you, 16 states and 2 UTs comes under core centrally sponsored scheme. Now, sir, in spite this security, how Vijay Malia, Lalit Modi went out from country. Now, they went out of the country before they were put on lookout notice. They were smart enough. So they fled the country before that. Any other question you have? Any question? Because after the break, uh, I will be finishing the rest of the topic. Only two topics are left. So, role of media and social media, and linkages between organized crime and terrorism. So, during BOP crisis in Sri Lanka, many Sri Lankan people came to India without visa. Why they were not stopped by India? See, on humanitarian ground, because the situation in Sri Lanka was not good. So that's why India allowed, because the situation there was really very bad. Any other question you have? Should I conclude this session? Should I conclude then? Should I conclude? Yes or no? Please. Let's take break, and then after the break, we'll commence our journey. Thank you.